Then came August '92. I was there in Timishi again, and I think that probably if I hadn't been in Timishi, and if what happened in '89 and '92 hadn't happened, if I'd been where? Well, anywhere else. I'm trying to make a joke of it, but actually it's no laughing matter. War broke out. People said that it was forced upon us, but what I want to say, from my own point of view, is that war as such, the actual combat on the front line, is not as terrifying as what goes on behind it, behind the lines on both sides. For so long, I had no idea where my Georgian friends were, or my Abkhazian friends, where my Georgian relatives were either. We were completely isolated in the village of Timishi in the Ochemchira district, down the road. And we had no idea of what was going on in Sukhumi, beyond Sukhumi. No idea what was happening in the world. We just had to survive. If war has come to you, then all you can do is survive as I see it, by taking whatever measures are necessary to protect yourself. Unfortunately, the war reached me personally, and I was forced to go into the trenches and kill people. People just like me. Although it could have been me getting killed instead, there's nothing new in that.
That's the word.
Yes, sometimes you shoot. That's what you must do, unfortunately. And I would say it again, unfortunately. I wasn't scared, not like thousands of my fellow tribesmen were, and I didn't have even a moment of doubt. I'm not trying to sing my own praises and say that I wouldn't surrender. There wasn't anyone to surrender to. That's how I see it now, that there was nobody to surrender to. At the time, it wasn't a question of surrendering or not surrendering, as if I could lay my arms down and be spared. I saw immediately what was happening, right from the start, because when an armed formation barges into the sleeping village, I don't know what the orders were giving out to those state council troops. Unfortunately, all people are different, and their minds work in different ways. I saw them bullying an old man, right here in Anwarhu, forcing him to pull up the water in a bucket from a 25-meter deep well. The guardsman, a big slob, made the old man pull up the bucket of water for him. It gets pretty hot in that part of the world in August. The old man was pouring out the water for him so that he could take a shower, standing there beside the well. That's how things were. Even without all of this, it was clear that war was unavoidable, that we had to defend ourselves. And that meant sacrificing everything.
Material ones.
I'm not talking about possessions. I'm not talking about material things. For example, I had to sacrifice my soul. I always thought of myself as an Orthodox Christian. Indeed, to this day, I consider myself an Orthodox Christian, and I was baptized as Alexander. I know that means defender. Well, I don't know who I was able to defend. Concepts like motherland and honor, I couldn't trample the honor part. I had, as I was saying, to go off and fight. Maybe I didn't move mountains, I didn't do anything, but at least I can look people in the eye today without feeling any shame. And I can always hold my head up high, not because of anything that I have done, but because my little nation simply survived. That is a source of great joy. Although naturally with war, when there was shooting, and of course there was shooting, all my friends and acquaintances from the village, my whole generation practically, were all wiped out. There are still older people left, and younger ones, but none of my age. I'm the only one. Apart from perhaps one other, no one else is left. Unfortunately. I don't want to go into all these details about the war, but the reminders are constantly there. Every day we get reminded. I don't dream of the horror, but I do miss my friends all the time. But unfortunately, nothing can be done. It was their fate, their designated honor, to die for their country, alas. Now, what about the other side?
Наших, скажем, противников. Вот если честно,
You know, Jamilia, to be frank with you, I don't think of them as enemies today. I'd say that we were enemies when we were positioned against each other, or when we attacked each other, but since then, I haven't had any of those feelings like a Georgian is an enemy. Unless, of course, it all begins again. Anyone who's been in a war will understand that in the depths of your soul, it's never over. Everyone expects it to be repeated. I won't call it horror, although war is by nature horrible, of course. All the time, from 89 up until 92, to go back to what I was saying before, all that time, everyone was expecting the war. And the events that were taking place at that time didn't signal anything good. So everyone was expecting a war and getting used to that idea. They got used to the idea that war was inevitable. But as my great friend Daur put it, nobody knew what the face of the war looked like. War, if you'll excuse me, is sweat, tears, and blood. And there's nothing good in that. Anyway, the war was over. Our school was rebuilt. My school where I was a student, like my father and all my friends. I got a job there and work there to this day. You know what they say about teachers? I bring the light of goodness and knowledge to children. I don't know how successful I am at doing that, but it's our everyday life now, day in and day out.
Yes. Is there anything, any moment of your life that you would like to tell us about? Any event, anything you regret or, on the contrary, are proud of? You could, I don't know, or is there anything you left out, perhaps on purpose, perhaps unintentionally, that you would like to add?
Jamilia, luckily God spared me. And not because I'm one of those people who never regrets anything. The Lord was merciful and bestowed upon me the bliss of not having regrets. Of not having any reasons to regret anything. Of course, I have regrets over my fallen brothers, lost, taken away from me. And how should I put it? The time stolen out of my life that was spent on war, on everything to do with the war. The things I never want to talk about, but I'll remember them always. Our helicopter. The helicopter full of children, of old people and women, which was shot down over my beloved village Lata on December 14th, 92. The thing is that I was in the second helicopter. I was wounded and was being evacuated from Varcheli back to the mainland. And there were two. One of the helicopters was shot down. And I saw that helicopter, or rather the burnt remains of the children. And believe me, that was horrendous. Horrendous. That's the only thing I'll mention. And God will be our judge. We shall see. That is the most dreadful thing I have ever seen in my life. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Children's bodies burnt to coal. Even after that, God gave me strength to not hate anyone. Even after that. It's the only thing I never want to have to talk about, as you well know. But that's the only thing. And what do I have to be proud of? Well, mainly, I'm proud that I've known such good people. That I was the friend of good people. Thanks to divine providence, again, I only seem to meet good people in my life. Always. I don't know how they put up with me. Only good people. People who radiate warmth.